Bonjour tout le monde, bienvenue au podcast Au-delà des plans, le podcast de la construction. Chaque semaine, j'ai l'opportunité de rencontrer un entrepreneur issu du milieu de la construction qui nous parle de son parcours et de son histoire. Tout d'abord, j'aimerais remercier mes commanditaires La Joie, qui est un agent manufacturier en équipement de plomberie. Donc, pour vos projets résidentiels, commerciaux, institutionnels, n'hésitez pas à les appeler. Ils vont faire les spécifications. J'aimerais également remercier Watts et Delta, qui sont des manufacturiers représentés par La Joie. Donc, pour de la robinetterie, des drains, des PRV, des DAR, n'hésitez pas à appeler La Joie. Et j'aimerais remercier Bugatti qui nous permet d'offrir des super cadeaux à nos invités. Cette semaine, j'ai eu l'immense plaisir de rencontrer Ben et Shari-Ann de Levine Plomberie. Donc, sur ce, je vous souhaite bon podcast. Vous écoutez Au-delà des plans avec Bruno Rajotte. Le podcast de la construction. Rebonjour. Là, on a rajouté à plus de Ben, Shari-Ann qui se joint à nous. Welcome to the podcast. Encore une fois, je fais le petit rappel avant que j'aie des commentaires. Je suis plus confortable en français. Shari-Ann puis Ben sont plus confortables en anglais. Donc, il va y avoir du franglais. Yeah. Second podcast franglais. Fait qu'on va y aller comme ça. On parlait dans l'histoire de Ben, de ton arrivée ça fait 14 ans que vous êtes mariés?
Oui.
Oui, c'est la bonne date, Ben. Good. Here we go.
Thank you.
I just need to verify.
Yeah, thanks.
Fait que,
He's better than I am.
vous êtes tellement beau à voir. Puis, tu sais, je parlais tantôt, on a fini sur des sages paroles de ton père, tu sais, qui disait de bien s'occuper des gens et... le reste le reste du monde va s'occuper, puis tout va se mettre en branle. Puis, je parlais, avant que vous arriviez, je parlais aux gens qui s'occupent du studio FCF, puis nous, ils m'ont dit, c'est qui que tu reçois? Je dis, ça, c'est les gens les plus généreux de l'industrie, de la construction. Genre, ouais. Puis là, comme vous arrivez, j'ai une bouteille, Shari-Ann m'a fait des biscuits, puis on va en parler des fameux biscuits dessus. C'est quand même, tu sais, ça fait partie de votre génétique, de donner comme ça. Ça fait partie de vous. D'où est-ce que tout ça a commencé? Mettons, les biscuits, on peut en parler. Je ne sais pas comment vous voulez qu'on le fasse, mais d'où ça a parti tout ça?
Les biscuits ou juste notre...
let's start with this cookie, because...
The cookie
is
an amazing story.
Yeah.
So,
do you want to go?
Sure, I'll tell a story of the cookies. We read an article a long time ago about how Sun Youth was missing gifts. So our kids decided that they would give part of their birthday gifts and their holiday gifts, and they would amass them, and then they would bring them to Sun Youth for the holidays. But then the pandemic hit, and there were no birthdays, and there were no holiday parties, and they didn't have so many extra gifts to give. But my daughter, who was 9 at the time, looked at us and said, but people need more help now, not less. So what are we going to do? So she looks at me and she goes, Mommy, you're going to bake your cookies and I am going to sell your cookies. I was like, okay.
How many do you need? 20? 30?
That's what I thought. I was like, I don't know how many people are going to buy cookies. So
during the pandemic? Where like all stuff that they need to
everyone's being
clean,
careful.
Disinfect groceries before bringing them into the house.
Exactly. She made a Facebook video and said she was raising the money. They came up with price points. They came up with a sales pitch.
The two older
and
kids,
they raised
over
$2,000 the first year in cookies. And I was like, okay.
But the other part to it is they were part of delivering.
Yeah,
also.
They had to. If I baked the cookies, they had to deliver the cookies.
So they went like
every day after school. They finished school at 4:15, and every day I would take them right after because we baked them fresh for the day, and then he would come home from work around 6:30 and take them for the second shift. And in between, we did homework, like every day for 3 weeks.
Wow.
This year, she came to me. She's like, I have a goal. I'm like, you have a goal?
9 years old.
Oh, this year she was 11.
Now she was 11 at the time.
Okay.
So this past Christmas.
Okay, what's your goal? She's like, I'm going to raise $5,000 this year. I'm like, you're going to what? Okay. And I don't want to put a limitation on her because I believe that if she says she can do it, I want her to try because who knows what she could do.
She will bring more, huh? You know it.
Oh my God. $5,400 she raised in those 3 weeks.
Wow.
Anybody she ran into, want to buy a cookie? Want to buy a cookie?
She was like dreaming cookie.
Oh, and she's good at the guilt. Kids need toys. It's the holiday season. Don't you want to help? How many cookies you want me to buy? That's what people say. How many would you like me to buy?
Mais c'est incroyable, ça, tu sais. Mais ça fait partie de vos valeurs.
Yes.
De faire ça, là.
We both grew up in families that gave back to the community. That was the core value of our family was you have, so you give. And we wanted to continue that with our family.
Ouais, OK. Mais là, parce que moi, je connais le en arrière de ça. Parce que vous avez 3 enfants.
Mm-hmm.
Moi, je connais pas tous les noms, là. C'est laquelle il y en a une qui est malade, je crois.
C'est neurodivergent.
OK, ouais, c'est vrai.
Okay.
Pour vous autres, c'est pas
Yeah,
gros.
we're going to call it neurodivergent.
C'est pas gros, mais
No,
c'est quand même...
ASD. Les 3 ont all 3 are neurodivergent. All 3. So
Qu'est-ce que ça fait?
autistic.
So
Right.
our older one is diagnosed being on the spectrum of autism. So it's called ASD, which is Autism Spectrum Disorder. And right away,
She looked at us and she's like, I don't have a disorder. I don't have ASD. I have ASA. I said, okay. And she's like, don't tell me I have ASD. I said, okay, so tell me what ASA is. She's like, I have autism spectrum abilities.
Wow, c'est...
And I was like, okay. And even she went in for an interview for high school. And I'm like, she has ASA. And he's like, I know. I read her report. She wrote a whole report going in that she has ASA and not ASD.
C'est quand même une belle leçon de vie, là, tu sais, parce qu'il y a beaucoup de personnes qui auraient ce diagnostic-là puis ils verraient ça comme un... négativement. Elle voit ça comme, non, je suis next level. Je suis désolé pour vous.
No.
Moi, je suis là. Tu sais.
No, I taught her. Extraordinary minds lead to extraordinary lives. Elon Musk, he would never have invented what he did without this. Albert Einstein, Andy Warhol, Jane Goodall. Seinfeld. You know, like all these people think outside the box. And there's no limits onto what they can do. So I think it's an amazing thing to have. Does it make life difficult? 100%.
C'est dur à dealer parce que j'ai quelqu'un dans mon entourage qui est sur le spectre, puis l'échec fait pas partie de leur vocabulaire. C'est comme, oui, ça va marcher.
Mm-hmm.
Là, tu fais, OK, mais ça se peut que ça marche pas. Ben non, ça va marcher. Inquiète-toi pas, on va tout faire pour que ça marche. Ça va fonctionner.
Why can't we raise $5,000?
Exactly. Puis là, elle a 11 ans, lever autant d'argent.
En 3 semaines.
En 3 semaines. Oui, c'est ça. L'autre chose, c'est qu'elle n'a pas 10 ans. Là. C'est pas sur 1 an, là, c'est sur 3 semaines.
3 semaines.
C'est assez incroyable. C'est quand est-ce qu'elle fait? C'est juste en novembre?
Oui.
En novembre qu'on a la vente. Ça, c'est sûr. Moi, je me suis commis. Cette année, je vous achète 100 biscuits.
I told her. Don't worry. She knows.
Je sais.
Video evidence. You all are witnesses here. Thank you.
Sûr, non,
Thank you to Lashwa.
Exact. Mais même là, j'ai dit à Fred, quand j'ai dit, hey, by the way, en novembre, on va avoir des biscuits, on va donner pour tous les employés, puis tout ça, il dit, ah, OK, de où ça vient? Puis là, mais de toute façon, je dis que tu veuilles ou non, moi, je vais les acheter, les biscuits. C'est une petite fille, elle fait ça. Puis là, quand j'ai raconté, il fait, bonne idée, on va packager ça, puis on va l'envoyer à tout le staff, tu sais. Fait que là, il y a Antonella, puis Mylène, puis Diane qui vont être au courant, puis qu'ils vont recevoir des biscuits. Fait que si j'ai pas de biscuits en novembre, admettons que mes enfants, ils ont tout mangé, je vais en entendre parler. De toute façon, là, j'ai eu des tasters. Tu m'as fait des
c'est la
tasters.
3e année qu'on fait ça, puis les personnes attendent pour les biscuits.
Ben oui. Mais, tu sais, c'est tellement sain de faire ça. Puis, l'autre chose, c'est que, tu sais, on roule des business où ce que le stress en fait partie. On est toujours en retard. Tu n'as pas commencé le projet, tu es en retard. Puis, revenir à la base, tu sais, des valeurs. Puis ça, vous devez être super fiers des trois. Là.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
juste le sourire, c'est
Yeah.
comme, wow.
Daily.
I
Daily,
said
they
our
impress
job is to raise good kids. That's our job because they're the future, and I want the future to be good and bright and kind. You know, if you can be anything, be kind. That's it.
Ouais, c'est... Puis, tu sais, de ça, il est arrivé le 100e anniversaire de Levine Bro Plumbing.
me. Yeah.
Puis, pour fêter, c'est complètement à votre image, là, pour fêter le 100e anniversaire, vous aviez un projet qui était de faire 100 bonnes actions.
Sans acte de gratitude.
Ouais, ben,
And then-
exact.
But he said acts.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
the important
absolutely.
part.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to make sure that they were actions. It wasn't us going to 100 companies and saying, here's a check, here's a check, here's a check. That's not what we're about. We're about the action of it to show our gratitude.
So, just to start, I mean, at the beginning of it all, we planned a party like any other company would throw. We had a carnival planned out so we could invite employees, retired employees, their kids, their families, their grandchildren. We had a petting zoo, all scheduled, face painting, blow ups. It was supposed to be spectacular. And again, that is within our values, families celebrating the different epochs through the different years. And then the city of Montreal appropriated our spot. We had booked it so far in advance that we were able to get a spot during Grand Prix weekend. The city appropriated our spot till the end of September, 6 weeks before the event. 6 weeks before we got notified that, sorry, the one spot that was available for Grand Prix weekend no longer is available. Okay, what do?
Back to the drawing board.
Back to the drawing board, and we sat down. Okay. So
And
we
you
can't have
got like everything reserved.
Yes.
everything reserved. Anyway.
And that was like very costly because I'm doing, I mean, like bunch of organization who's doing stuff like that, event that costs like bunch of money, and cancellation is never a word that you want to use during event planning.
Especially just starting to come out of COVID.
Yeah.
So people were a little disappointed. Most of the people, most of the suppliers, so to speak, were understanding, and didn't cost us too much on deposit cancellations. But now what do? We have a 100-year anniversary. We're in April of our 100th year, and we have done nothing, and we have no ideas. And we sat down and we thought about it. Who helped us to get here? So originally our who was the employees and families. Then we took it one step further. Families, our employees, our clients, and our community. And that's while bringing in the mentality of our children that we can do better and we can make a difference, and showing gratitude to these 3 pillars of what got us to be able to celebrate 100 years. It turned into this beautiful discussions. And again, not checks, acts. How could we make a difference?
And create ripples. Meaning we do one thing, but it it becomes so much more. And we didn't even know how big it would get until now that we're in it.
Yeah.
Sometimes we just sit back and we can't even believe the impact it's made.
Oui, bien, l'impact de la générosité, là, moi, je dis tout le temps, les gens, là, tu sais, quand on se lève le matin, on peut décider comment ça va aller la journée. C'est toi qui décides. Puis, ce matin, je parlais avec un contracteur qui est sur un gros projet à Québec. Puis, Simon, il va rire quand je vais dire ça. Il me dit, je sais pas ce que tu mets dans ton café, Bruno, mais tous les jours, je t'appelle pour des mauvaises nouvelles. Il dit, quand je t'appelle, parce que moi, je suis le red phone, là, fait que quand il m'appelle, je suis le dernier appel qu'il peut faire. Après ça, c'est emergency, si on arrête le chantier. Fait que là, il m'appelle, il dit, tu le sais, hein? Mais je dis, tu sais, Simon, il n'y a pas de chirurgien cardiaque ici. Là. Oui, on fait un hôpital, là, mais à la fin de la journée, là, moi, j'ai décidé qu'aujourd'hui, ça va bien aller. Mm-hmm. Puis, peu importe ce qui va arriver, là, aujourd'hui, ça va bien aller. Puis, tu sais, c'est ça, l'impact que tu as sur les gens. Puis, tu sais, les actes de gratitude, là, ça, je veux que vous m'en parlez parce que c'est fou l'impact que ça a eu sur tout le monde. Là. Mm-hmm. Comment vous avez... Fait que là, vous êtes arrivé au board, OK, parfait, on a les 3 axes, employés, client, communauté.
Ouais.
Parfait. Mm. On a ça. On fait quoi après? C'était quoi le thinking?
So we knew what we wanted to do for the employees. We knew what we wanted to do for the clients, but how do we figure out what we're going to do for the community? So I sent my little birds out and I was like, I know this person who works in this foundation. I knew this person who works I'm like, I want to help. And it's not going to cost you a thing. Tell me people who need help, who genuinely deserve the help. And I could tell you the first person we got set the bar for everybody.
C'était qui?
C'était une femme. Well, you could tell because you know her better than I do. But I reached out and said, this person has never asked for help. But she has 4 kids and she had
first she was going through cancer treatment. And so she had to lose her job a year before. So they were a family of 6. And she had a leak in her kitchen. The insurance company came and demolished her kitchen and then denied her claim. By the time she got to us, it was 3 months she had no kitchen. It was down to studs. She was washing her dishes in the pedestal sink in the powder room. And she was cooking on the 13-year-old barbecue she had in the backyard. And
she was on aid for food.
She was on aid. She was receiving gift cards
so she couldn't
through this organization.
Yeah, the gift card, they were trying to help her with the food also, but she couldn't even imagine doing the kitchen because she couldn't afford food.
And the other thing is she was going through cancer treatment. So that's not like the best situation for to make food.
So by the time she came to us or we came to her, we got connected. Yeah. Thank God she had finished the cancer treatments and we were able to rally and help to put that kitchen back together.
She did a lot of the work. I will give her so much credit.
Oh, absolutely.
But we came in and did the plumbing. We brought our project manager in to guide her, to help her along, to know that she wasn't alone in it.
And once that kitchen was finished, I'll remember that phone call that we got that she was washing dishes in her kitchen sink for the first time crying. So that's a great story, except that's not where it finishes.
A month later?
About a month later.
I get a phone call. She goes, I need to tell you, we just got a phone call from her. And she started a side business where she's selling pierogies. And for the first time, she's able to afford to feed her own family.
Making pierogies out of that very kitchen.
And I was like, this is what we need to do. This is what we were supposed to do. And that's just one of the people.
Yep.
And it's a different...
I'm not sure I can go through all the story because that's really emotional.
There's a few. We got a Facebook message because I answer all the Facebook messages. Hi, everybody.
Yeah.
And we got a message at 9:00 at night from a woman who had just lost her husband.
2 weeks before.
2 weeks before. And there was a huge rain. And she goes, I think the sump pump sounds different, but how would I know? So we found out she lived close by. And our kids looked at him and goes, you got to go. You got to go. And he went and he sat with her until his guy showed up because the sump pump wasn't working. And he sat with her for 2 hours.
Yeah.
And then his guy showed up and he comforted her. And it was so that she felt safe in her house again. And I was like, there you go.
Wow.
And it's one person, one act, one impact.
Yeah,
but it's so much more.
Yeah, exactly. That's quand je dis l'impact, là, tu sais, ces personnes-là, à vie, ils vont se souvenir de ça. Puis tu sais, des fois, il y en a, ils me disent « Ah ouais, mais c'est bon pour le marketing. » Mais c'est ça, c'est que vous faites pas ça pour le marketing. Vous faites ça parce que...
I have to tell you something. I am not one to say, oh, we did this, oh, we did that. So I didn't do that. And then somebody came to me and was like, you know you're doing a disservice. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, because other companies can do this and other people can learn that we can all do something small. It doesn't have to be huge acts. He's like, you need to teach other people that this is possible and that it really does make a difference. So you are actually doing a disservice to the community by not sharing what you're doing. I was like, I didn't look at it like that.
Oui. Mais il y a un problème qu'on a au Québec. Quand on fait tout le monde aime ça parler en « Ah, il y a un problème. Ah, lui c'est un pas fin. » Mais, tu sais, aux nouvelles, là, marqué que... moi, je me souviendrai tout le temps, à TVA, là, il y a la bonne nouvelle TVA. C'est 30 minutes de nouvelles pour 1 minute de bonnes nouvelles. Attends, il y a quelque chose qui ne marche pas. Fait que j'écoute plus les nouvelles depuis. Mais,
That's why you're so happy.
Exactly. That's why everything goes well. Mais oui, il faut parler de ça. Puis, des fois, les gens ils disent « Ah ouais, tu fais ça pour le marketing. » Tu sais, non, c'est pas pour ça. Tu sais, un peu comme le podcast que je fais, les gens disent « Ah, ouais, tu dois faire de l'argent avec ça. Je veux juste arrêter tout le monde, là, ça me coûte de l'argent. » Bien, on a des commanditaires, là, Watts, Delta, mais eux, ils ont embarqué parce qu'ils ont dit « Les histoires des entrepreneurs, ça, c'est intéressant. Savoir que j'ai un super bon drain, un bon robinet, que ça marche merveilleux. Don't talk about product, talk about people. » Puis c'est ça un peu qu'on voulait faire avec le podcast. Mais ça, c'est... Tu sais, ces personnes-là, vous allez avoir changé leur vie, là.
I hope.
Non, mais Shari-Ann, je te garantis que ça a changé leur vie, là. Mais là, vous n'avez pas arrêté là. C'est à cause que... Parce que 100 ans, c'est ça que j'aime avec vous, c'est que vous faites tout le temps ça petit. Fait que pour 100 ans, vous avez décidé de faire 100 actes de gratitude.
At least 20 stories like that.
Man,
because
ahead.
Those are the community.
We got time. Go ahead. We got time. Non, mais qu'est-ce que vous avez comme...
Oh, I have such a beautiful one. So,
it's all beautiful,
because
just to let
I
you know.
think any company could do this, and I wish every company. The holiday season, the food banks were so low on food. I'm like, I look at them like, we have guys going into people's homes every day. Why are we not collecting cans of food?
They are there. They are in the kitchen to use the faucet.
Exactly.
I'm like, don't just take them, but like we could ask permission, you know? So what we decided is for every residential call who gave us a can of food, they were eligible for $200 off their bill. We picked one person at the end. So there was a little bit of incentive for them. And,
Wow.
And then we were collecting food for the food banks, and every plumber would go into homes and come out. Even if you came out with one can.
It's more than nothing.
But it adds up.
2 to 6 service calls a day. We have 4 or 5 guys doing service calls every day. We did it for
a month.
4 5 weeks. That adds up.
And it's such an easy thing to do that I was like, why don't other people do this?
No, I think that's a great idea. And I think a lot of people can do it. Just my dad, for sure. Just to let you know, I will use your ID.
Please.
Please do. And that is the reason why we do it.
Yeah.
It's, Shari-Ann said, ripple effect.
C'est vraiment une super bonne idée, ça. Puis, tu sais, des trucks de service, là, il y en a dans tous les domaines de la construction.
Oh, yeah.
Et even belle communication, Vidéotron, le gars qui fait le bardeau, tout le monde est en contact avec des gens comme ça. Super idée. Puis en plus, avec la pandémie, tu sais, les banques alimentaires étaient très, très basses.
I know.
Fait que c'est... Wow, great idea. What else?
We were watching.
So we took a tour of the Old Brewery Mission. Old Brewery Mission is the oldest and largest homeless shelter in Montreal. And we met with the executive director, James, and we took a tour. He gave us the extended tour. He told me he's never given people tours of the kitchen and the boiler rooms. And I asked how often the grease trap was emptied. He's like, this is not a normal tour I'm used to. But then Shari-Ann asked him, what do you need? How could we help you?
And
what?
He said the point of the shelter is so that they feel...
sense of dignity
and individuality, and that they can serve themselves. And then we went on every floor and we took our tour, and I sat down and I said, if that's your goal, you have 5 floors with not one working water fountain. Each floor did not have a working water fountain. I said, if a guy wakes up at night and he's thirsty to drink out of a sink, you know?
To suck the bottom of a faucet, it's the exact opposite of dignified.
So, within 2 weeks...
They had 5 working water fountains.
Because that's what they needed. And I was like, I want to give them that.
And we're not... We don't do this alone.
Oh, we do not. Because
No,
as soon as people found out what we were doing, suppliers came to us. How could we help? We gave, there's a little girl that we knew of that is going blind, and she loves to do things with her mom, and we got her a faucet that you talked to.
A smart faucet by a different manufacturer.
Yeah, I know. No, that's okay. That's okay.
Oh, okay. So it's a smart faucet, and you literally put the cup under, and
you say
1 cup of cold water, and that's what it does.
1 teaspoon.
So she's able to help her mother.
Her mom is now a single mom, and
with the help of the manufacturer and the supplier and us, we went and we installed the faucet for her, and they're baking together.
That's a small thing.
That's a small thing for you, but a huge thing for them.
I'm like, what else did we do?
We helped a women's shelter fix up a bathroom. They had bathrooms that weren't working properly. We went in, we fixed them up. Then that same shelter reached back out to us. They said, we have a graduate, is what she called, of the shelter. She's moving into an apartment by herself, but she needs a bidet wand. So a washlet en anglais. And here's the one that the city is supplying. And I looked it up, and I'm like, but it's not approved. They said, well, I could do better. What do you mean you could do better? I called up one of our reps, and within a week we had a washlet donated. We sent one of our guys. Within 2 weeks she had one installed at no expense to her, no expense to the building owner, and she was able to get started on her new life in a way that she was comfortable, again, with dignity. We became...
The other thing is, toutes ces actions-là, vous êtes impliqués directement. C'est vous deux avec il y a d'autres gens là, dans la compagnie, mais vous les prenez, la pompe, les gens qui t'appellent le soir pour... C'est vous qui s'en occupez, là. Tu sais, il y a beaucoup de dirigeants... Je passe un petit message à certains dirigeants de business, là. Quand vous êtes des dirigeants de business, vous avez une responsabilité, tu sais. Puis vous devez, si vous voulez créer des valeurs, vous voulez transmettre les valeurs à la business, il faut s'impliquer. Tu sais, je vois des fois des dîners de compagnie ou des événements caritatifs importants, puis le owner ou le vice-président n'est pas là. Je suis comme, hey, il y a quelque chose qui, tu sais, si tu veux faire un chèque, pour de vrai, organise rien, fais un chèque. Puis tu sais, c'est très, très bien. Là, des chèques, il en faut. Là, je ne commencerai pas à dénigrer qu'il ne faut pas de chèque, mais va pas dire, je m'implique dans des business, puis de ne pas de pas être présent, c'est comme wow.
One of my favorite lines is attitude reflects leadership.
On finit le podcast là-dessus.
Yeah, okay.
Nothing else to
Thank you
say.
very much. This has been fun. But it's even
It's a trickle-down effect.
even the acts that we do for the plumbers.
Oh,
Some listen, it must
he
be
won't
fun.
say, but he gets up in the morning sometimes and washes their trucks.
Yeah. Mais ça,
Which
I
you
bake
should
them
see
cookies.
You should see the videos of these guys taking of me washing the truck. And there was even with my son came to work one week last year with me last summer when he was off of school, and we washed trucks together, the two of us. And these guys were watching. Could we help? No. You stand over there. I'm doing this for you. Also, I do a breakfast barbecue.
Meet the
So-
chef.
yeah, c'est ça.
I'm doing it.
C'est
It's
toi
a-
qui le faisais, là.
It's important for me to be the one doing it for them. I'm not doing it so that they could have a breakfast and we get together, which is beautiful in and of itself. But you know what I could call it's not who I am. I want to be the one to serve them, to thank them in my way, and that's how I'm able to do it.
Puis tu sais, mon père, il me dit tout le temps, t'as beau être le président de la business, à la fin de la journée, on est tous pareils. Hein. On est des humains qui vont dealer. Fait que, tu sais, c'est la pureté à... Tu sais, parce que t'aurais pu engager quelqu'un qui clean les camions des gars, là.
Sure.
T'aurais pu engager un chef qui fait la bouffe, là.
Yeah.
Mais
not his
imagine...
style.
Non,
C'est
non,
pas
I
moi.
know.
No,
I know,
but I'm
mais-
saying that's
Yes,
not his
I
style
could.
because he could do those things, but it's his.
Mais l'impact sur les gens, de dire, je veux vraiment te remercier. C'est pas juste genre, OK, voilà un cadeau. Non, non. Je veux te montrer que, tu sais, il y a une chose, le meilleur cadeau, moi je fais ça maintenant, j'achète plus de cadeaux physiques. Moi, je donne du temps. Tu veux qu'on aille? On va aller au restaurant. Ma mère, là, le plus beau cadeau que je fais, je lui donne, parce que tu veux pas, 4 enfants, j'ai business à rouler, tu sais. Mais quand on part, tu sais, là, je peux vous dire, ça s'en vient, là, j'ai pas la date exacte, il faudrait que je check dans l'iPhone, mais ça s'en vient. Quand je prends avec ma mère, le plus beau cadeau que je lui donne, c'est on s'en va manger au restaurant, juste nous deux. Puis après ça, on va voir une pièce de théâtre. Puis le téléphone, il est fermé. Ma mère est comme, wow, ça, c'est le plus beau cadeau. Hein. T'sais, mais c'est ça, mais donner du temps comme tu fais, Ben, c'est comme les deux, là, Shari-Ann aussi, là, tu donnes beaucoup de temps. Là. Mais,
But it's always with pleasure.
ouais, exact. C'est pas forcé.
No, because it's part of who we are.
Exact.
Yeah, coming back, and it comes back. I have suppliers, I have manufacturers are still calling me. Hey, don't forget me for an act. Don't forget I could help. You need a sink, you need a toilet, you need a faucet, anything. Let me know.
Mais moi, je vous le dis.
Oh,
Je vous le dis. On se connaissait pas beaucoup. Là, on se connaît beaucoup mieux. Là, mais
yeah.
n'importe quoi que vous avez de besoin, je suis un pas pire vendeur. Là. Fait que n'importe quoi, nos amis de chez Watts, Delta, peu importe le brand. Hein, puis même si c'est pas mon brand, j'ai un bon réseau de contacts, je vais les contacter direct dessus. Mais
and it's
oui.
it's been a beautiful response. Like Shari-Ann said, the ripple is amazing. I have contractors reaching out to me. Okay, how could we help? Well, we'll let you know when a project comes up. So there's been a couple that we've asked certain contractors to come in, an electrician to help out. But again, you could start doing things like this also. They said, you're right. And that's one of the ripples that we want to see, is that people think about philanthropy as these huge companies making huge acts or huge pledges that get in the news for the marketing side. And listen, if our daughter could raise close to $15,000 for Sun Youth, imagine what we could do. Imagine what other companies can do. We don't have to be Bell Canada to give back for Bell Let's Talk Day or whatever it is. We're Levine Brothers. We're PME, like all the other PMEs. But this is the impact that we could have, and that's where we want to, and that's the reason why we want to talk about it and market it, is to show that possibility.
Ouais, puis tout le monde peut le faire.
Yeah.
It's funny, my friend, when I started the cookie drive, I said, I don't see anything special about it, because people were like, oh, this is amazing, this is so great. I'm like, I don't understand. Anybody can do this.
It's cookie.
Anybody. And then my best friend calls me and she goes, but nobody else is. Do you know that? No one else is sitting in their kitchen all day baking cookies and delivering and raising money for organizations. You're the one doing it. But because we did it that year, we got 2 other companies who donated a portion, who bought cookies from us, who donated a portion of their profits that month to the same foundation, to Sun Youth. And I was like, oh. So it's just a matter of, you can do it. You just need to take that step and do it.
So I guess we're calling out for a challenge to business owners of Montreal. Okay.
Oui, mais oui, il n'y a aucune raison. Il y a plein de business à Montréal, puis tu sais, c'est des petites choses, là. Tu sais, d'aller installer des fontaines. Les gars, je vends 25 000 fontaines par année.
Yeah.
Ça doit être pas... Tu rentres, tu visses, on met l'eau, on met le filtre, puis on est parti.
We're talking about 5.
Yeah, c'est ça.
5 of 25,000.
Yeah, exact. And I'm not the only one to sell fontaine.
Yeah.
Fait que c'est incroyable, mais tu sais, faut pas avoir peur d'en parler. Là. Puis tu sais, vous avez parti le marketing de TikTok. Je sais pas de qui vient l'idée.
Okay, so
who? Because you're in charge of marketing of Levine, bro.
Okay, so the marketing side of things, I really started, as my father called it, playing on the computer in 2015. Before that, like I had said in the previous podcast, before that we had no marketing plan, no business development, no networking, and I saw an opportunity, my father said to me, "We don't go out to get business. Our marketing is word of mouth." I said, this is the new word of mouth. So 2015, I was spending 2 hours putting together every post, and I was posting twice a week. I was taking a picture from here, an explanation from here, very careful not to overstep my bounds, careful about liability issues.
Exactly.
For those contractors listening, you'll understand about liability and insurance costs. But at the same time, doing it to help, educate, inform, help. If I could save a service call for someone, amazing. I have to tell you though, not everybody was on board with this. Even in my company, I had people come to me and said, Why? You just killed our business. I'm like, what business did I just kill? Because I showed them how to take hair out of a PO plug in a lavatory. If I'm basing my business on an hour service call and a pair of needle nose pliers, I'm in the wrong business. This is what we need to do, because when they do a renovation, now they only think and trust of one plumber. That was the purpose, to help. So then I couldn't keep doing all the posts myself as the company moved forward. And so we had hired a couple of agencies over the years, but it was just Facebook posts. It was plumbing related posts. And then 4 years ago, I sat down with a digital marketing strategist. It's the best way to explain him. And he blew my mind as to the possibilities and the reach and how much we could help and what we could build from it. And I looked at him and said, I can't do this alone. I got home really excited and really nervous. And we had just had, recently before, we had just had our third kid. And
so le timing était bon.
Timing was bon. Shari-Ann listened to what I had to say. For those who don't know, Shari-Ann has a double major in business from McGill.
What do I have?
Oh, now I'm getting tested.
Yeah.
Marketing and consumer. Psychology of management, specializing in consumer behavior.
Good job.
Oh, thank you very much.
Got a cookie tonight.
Yeah, she won't lock the door on me now. But I brought an expert in, and I could not, and that was almost 4 years ago now. Probably 4 years by the time this podcast goes out, and she's the heart behind it all. I always say she's the producer, the writer, the editor, the censor, the videographer. I mean, this is probably her third or fourth time in front of the camera instead of behind it. And so I'm very proud of that. But again, I couldn't be doing what we do in marketing.
At the beginning, we did it at if you look in the first videos, the first year, it is pitch black outside.
And I'm whispering.
Because our kids were asleep and we're filming them while the kids are sleeping. And you only get that small window when your kids are sleeping when they're bored. Like
you got an hour and a half or 30 minutes to do the video.
So it was like, come on, let's go. So they're all pitch black outside. Now we have made it more of a scheduled
priority.
Yes, because we realized that filming at 11 o'clock at night doesn't put us in the best mood the next day either. Exactly. So there's also our marriage that has to survive this.
So and at the beginning we just made videos because it was tips that I was talking about all the time. It was people I was talking on the phone about. Yeah, stop pouring grease down your drain. Hey, by the way, a pod filler is a great thing if you're going to renovate. And I keep talking and talking.
We posted a video about plungers. Plungers.
The one from Home Depot? So I filmed it from Home Depot. The employees of Home Depot did not appreciate me being there. They followed us around. So it was really a quick video. But it was the difference between, I think I had 2 or 3 plungers, a small one, toilet, sink plunger. Over 200,000 views, that one video.
And people sending me videos and pictures of them buying the plungers we recommended. I was like, yay. But then even before this, during the pandemic, we put out a video about the best plunger. And we had a few people who were like, we can't leave our home. We can't get it. I was like, I know people who are on the road. So we started delivering some plungers.
Oh, oui.
Oh, yeah.
Fait que les plombiers.
So when we're in the area,
if we're in your area,
we dropped the plunger off at someone who messaged and said, I can't get out. I'm stuck in my house. I don't feel comfortable.
But you told me I need this plunger, so I need this plunger.
Like she said, she answers all of the messages.
Yes.
So anytime somebody messaged Levine Brothers or commented on that, it was her. It was Shari-Ann. So we went out and we emptied the stock of the Corky's Beehive because, in our opinion, in our tests that we put out, it is the best hand plunger on the market right now to unblock toilets. And we delivered a good number of them to...
How many you bought?
I was like, our Canadian Tire has them. I was like, I bought out their stock.
And I bought out the stock near our office in Lachine.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was, just like that.
Puis là, mais là, vous continuez, vous faites des vidéos quoi, toutes les semaines?
So
4 a week?
So right now we do 2 pre-recorded videos a week, 2 live
Lives.
videos a week, and 1 Sunday funny. So it's every Sunday we put out a cartoon or a meme that's plumbing related, pretty funny. That gets posted on Facebook. The other 4 videos,
2 are information.
so it's tips, tricks.
We call them quick
showcase-
tips on
Yeah.
Instagram.
Yeah, it's like a 1-minute video.
30
So-
seconds.
30
Some.
seconds.
On Facebook, they're the extended version
Okay.
where he talks a lot. And then on Instagram, I say, you have 30 seconds. Go.
Max. So let's say even Delta commercial brand came out with the copper handles.
Yeah.
That'll be 1 longer video talking about antibacterial and the positive effects of copper, and then we throw a quick tip. If you're looking for your commercial establishment to have antibacterial faucets, Delta now comes out with, and that's how we do it.
There you go. That's how we do it.
Delta now comes out. Okay. sorry.
And then
Delta.
on Fridays,
So Fridays I put out a
and this was
series.
fascinating that people wanted to hear this.
It's a series called Thoughts from the Throne. So Thoughts from the Throne, it originated from a fun idea where people actually do their best thinking in the shower,
Yeah, right.
and some others of us might do it from sitting on the throne. So originally I was asked, or I had asked if I could start filming them while sitting on a toilet. I was nixed very quickly on that one. Like I said, my editor and censor. But the idea is things that have happened over the past week that have really come to affect me. Me as a business owner, me as a plumber in the industry, me as a father, a community member, anything. And it just took off from there.
Yeah.
And we post that on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And I had no idea the effects of it. And honestly, I walk into places and I have people yell, "Hey, Mr. Thoughts from the Throne." And I have
Well, we were at
that
an
the La
MCA,
Joie, yeah.
quand vous étiez au La Joie Boot, tout le monde me disait, hey Ben, ouais, c'est.
Yeah.
Là, j'étais comme.
Even the La Joie
We
Christmas
had-
party.
Exactly. Exactly.
We had a kid come trick-or-treating at our house. And then we hear from the back, are you Ben Levine? From
The
Ben Levine Brothers. He goes, who's asking? He goes, a fan.
Just like that.
So then he's like, yes, that's me.
Now you know where I live. I'm a little scared. And we actually just started new segments where on Tuesdays it's called Tales from the Trenches. So I talk about stories that have happened either with myself on job sites. Some of them I might have mentioned even in the first podcast of this, or maybe we hadn't had time to talk about it, but I plan to talk. And some of them are from our plumbers on the road who come to me and we find out some fun stories and some. So it's really
Learning experience.
learning experience, what we learn, what they could learn, what we learned from them over the years. And I have some pretty fun ones lined up already. Just a
There's
little
no
bit of
shortage
history.
of material for that segment.
Yeah, that's go one take.
Oh, it's
live.
live. I do it
Yeah.
live. So sometimes I might misspeak. I might upset some people, and that's just the nature of being live on a video. And if you followed how I speak and what I've said before, then you'll take it like I either misspoke or I slipped up, or maybe that's what I really meant.
On arrive à la fin du podcast et je
No.
demande tout le temps, I know. Puis là, je vois qu'il faut que tu fasses tes lives dans like 5 to 6 minutes. Fait que j'aimerais ça juste. Qu'est-ce que vous aimeriez laisser en héritage? Parce que tu sais, vous êtes tellement sweet, tu sais, vous donnez. Qu'est-ce que vous aimeriez que les gens se souviennent de vous deux?
Whew. Well, I think in my head I have 3 points. 1, anyone can make a difference. Anyone, it's whether you're a company owner or you're a 9-year-old girl, anyone can make a difference. There's enough areas out there where people could help. There's enough areas out there that need help. And trust me, as we're going into the summer and the amount of events that people are reaching out to sponsor and the amount of donations, and there's no such thing. There's so many great charities out there, so many great organizations that need help.
One thing you touched on is that, we help people and it changes them and it does so much for them. But when you give, you get so much more back. The feeling we get, the pride we have in our company that we did this. That's worth so much to us. That's worth everything, because it's a pleasure to do it.
So there's two other things that I've been thinking about that really maybe we didn't touch on that side of the business even. Maybe not in this podcast, maybe another one, sure. Anyway, but we want to elevate the standards of service. We want to go into people's homes and understand that there's a book called The Secrets Behind the Magic Kingdom, and it's about leadership and about thought process that went into Disney, and bringing Disney is one of those companies that I just aspire to be. But in the first chapter, it's realizing that everybody's a competitor for everything that you do. So we have a service department, we have 2 people answering phones, but anybody who makes a call to anybody. So our service department is in competition with the pizza place, is in competition with Bell Canada and Videotron. And by the way, we're also anybody else that person has reached out to or has called them over this past month. We want to be the leaders in that experience. We want to be the leaders in the experience of coming into people's homes and helping them take care. We want to elevate what it means to be a service provider. I want to throw away that stereotype of dirty jeans, crack, and plunger. We are experts coming in and giving you expert advice. And that needs to be brought out. And it's an issue in our industry. It's an issue with perception. And the next part about it is, and it's something that I'm sure people have talked about, is we are missing so many people in our trades. There was a report that came out about 5 years ago that we are going to be missing 250,000 tradesmen in Canada alone. In Canada, I heard that number and I'm just like, we don't have that many people. But that's how many people we are going to be missing. And then over the pandemic, so many of those tradesmen, or tradespeople, so many of those tradespeople decided that they would retire a little bit earlier, and now we have a vacuum. Where is that being filled from? There is such a taboo out there in society that, you couldn't make it in school, so I guess you could go into a trade. Where the trades need to be elevated, that it's an achievement. It's not that you failed in CEGEP or university and you couldn't do it, so might as well. But it's an option, an honorable option when they're in high school. An honorable place to make a living for themselves, for their families, and for the future. And to know that I'm a plumber and I'm damn proud of it, that needs to come from the next generation. And that is part of elevating the trades as a whole. So it's those 3 things that I want to be remembered. And that's the legacy I want to leave.
Because he's very proud that he's a plumber.
Ouais, puis il faut être, tu sais, dans tout le monde, tu sais, la personne qui ramasse les vidanges, là, le concierge qui nettoie le plancher. Hier j'étais à la tour de la Bourse, tu sais. Puis j'avais le concierge qui nettoyait le plancher. Puis je dis, on va prendre l'autre escalier pour pas... Puis je dis, je te souhaite une bonne journée. Et monsieur, il a fait, hey, merci beaucoup, mais bonne journée à toi. Puis là, tu sais, j'ai fait, c'est sûr qu'il se fait pas dire bonne journée, jamais. Le monde passe à côté, tu sais, surtout à la Bourse, là, où les gens sont comme tout le temps en retard. Puis on prend un café, va. Puis là, je suis comme, il faut traiter les gens comme il se doit. Puis tout le monde est important, tu sais.
but that's what you learned from your father.
Ouais, exact.
So it gets passed down.
Ouais.
So I think on a family level, it's that our kids see and we learn from them and they learn from us. And that...
C'est sûr, à vie, tu sais, vos enfants, ils vont amener ça à vie. Je pense qu'il y a déjà un très beau début avec tous les fonds. Là, je le sais que le TikTok, ils vont m'appeler, ils vont dire qu'être en retard, c'est à cause de Bruno, du podcast, mais...
Don't worry, I'll blame you on the video.
I know.
It's funny, I just got a message, it's 12 o'clock.
Yeah, it's now.
Go listen to him.
Je veux juste remercier ma gang. On parle de générosité. Merci Nick, Fred, Pierre, les boys. Thanks a lot de me laisser faire le podcast à tous les jours. Moi, c'est pour des rencontres comme aujourd'hui que je fais ça. Fait que moi, aujourd'hui, c'est sûr, ça va être une merveilleuse journée. Diane, Antonella, Mylène, girl, merci beaucoup de faire tout le marketing. Moi, je le sais que c'est quoi tout le travail. Shari-Ann le sait, Ben le sait. C'est énorme le travail que vous faites de mettre ça en ligne, faire les épisodes. Un énorme merci. La gang du studio SF, ceux qui veulent louer le studio, n'hésitez pas à les appeler. C'est pas cher. Service 4 étoiles, 5 étoiles, ils sont wow. C'est vraiment bien organisé. On arrive, veux-tu un café, un verre d'eau, tout ça. Un moment donné, tu sais, il y a une limite de ce que je peux prendre, mais merci beaucoup. Merci à vous deux. Merci d'être venu au micro. Je sais que Shari-Ann, t'es plus en arrière d'habitude. Fait que je sais que c'était quand même beaucoup. Ben, c'est sûr que on a construit une relation. Toi, peut-être t'es pas au courant, mais aujourd'hui, on est devenus des amis, puis moi, je vais être impliqué dans tous tes projets. C'est oui à tous les projets, puis ceux qui n'ont pas acheté de biscuits, vous allez vous faire achaler par moi. Puis, tu sais, quand il va y avoir le post en novembre, ça va sortir à tous les jours. Dès que vos enfants vont poster quelque chose, ça va être repost. Fait qu'un énorme merci d'être venu au podcast. Puis, pour les auditeurs, ben, regardez, ce qu'on a vécu là, c'est pour ça que je fais le podcast. Fait que je suis persuadé que vous avez apprécié. Fait que je vous laisse là-dessus. Puis on se voit la semaine prochaine avec une autre histoire d'entrepreneur. Donc sur ce, à la semaine prochaine.
Merci.